that hot mess that they air in the mornings called The View had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections, 4 legal notes. Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side. And then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern with them.
I think the problem with that show is that show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in. You know, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her. And, you know, they did that with Rogan Megyn.
Oh, you think there was no drama other than on The View? Have a second look. Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly just dealt a crushing blow that has The View presenters screaming for their dignity. It wasn't pretty. You would be wrong to imagine they were impenetrable. Stay tuned as we explore how these two absolutely crushed the self-proclaimed daytime TV queens. I can promise you that this one is not to be missed.
Just go for it. Yeah,
there's nothing there. Sometimes comics do that.
And
fun.
The other question is then, is that representative of a big constituency? I think probably yes.
Well, a lot of
MSNBC
people,
viewers are probably also thinking,
I don't even think the MSNBC viewers, I think they're a little bit more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
This is like low information, blue no matter who, like older housewives who are mad at the world. That's the appeal that Whoopi Goldberg had.
It starts with the traditional circus, The View in full meltdown mode. There are 5 older women shrieking at each other as if it were a catastrophic seance on live television. Midway through her 10th moral panic of the morning, Joy Behar is in a state of chaos. Whoopi looks to be conducting some pie calculations on a napkin, while Sunny Hostin is involved in a furious debate with gravity. Take note, no one is paying attention. Everyone's interrupting, and the audience is cheering like trained seals anytime someone softly yells empowerment or democracy. If chaos had a daytime slot, this is it. Somewhere among the confusion, someone tries to introduce a reasonable notion, but it's quickly drowned out by crosstalk, dramatic gasping, and a well-timed side-eye from Ana Navarro that could curdle milk. It's not a conversation, it's hardly even a discussion. It's group therapy with a studio audience and a sprinkle of delusion, a professional echo chamber with studio lighting. You can literally smell the smugness wafting off the screen like a Glade plug-in of self-righteousness.
Donald Trump will be sworn in as the 47th president of the United States, yay, on January 20th of this month. Not everyone's happy about it, and many people would like us to be more focused on the insurrection that he personally unleashed, if you ask them. As we discussed earlier, they think it's as bad as like the Holocaust, and you don't have to take my word for it. Here is Sunny Hostin of The View.
January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, you know, like World War II, things that happened, you know, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery.
Yeah, the January 6th is right up there next to the Holocaust.
Then Joe Rogan, the human lie detector with a podcast mic, steps in, not with shouting, but with that calm, I've been hit in the head just enough to see through BS vibe. The man has interviewed astronauts, monks, and individuals who believe lizard people govern the nation. And yet, even he glances at The View and whispers, this can't be real.
In fairness, though, I mean, The View has to be, you know, if you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Hostin's
You think it's
dumb.
deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on, for sure. I don't think Sunny's dumb. But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and you like it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and just nothing.
Megyn Kelly showed up like a media assassin, sharp, unbothered, and holding receipts. Traditional networks couldn't handle her questions, so she built her own platform and started carving egos with precision. While Joy fumbles over authoritarian, Rogan calmly dismantles arguments with a chuckle. Megyn She exposes contradictions like she's curating a museum of media flops. Where Rogan is a sledgehammer, Megyn is a scalpel. Slicing through nonsense with one eyebrow raise while The View blinks for backup.
They're disgusting. She's Anna Navarro in your wildest imagination. You could never solo host a show. You will only ever make it as part of an ensemble, and you could never hope to achieve the success that Tucker Carlson has. So you can sit in your little cheap seats all day long and enjoy your little negative henpecking, but your careers are going nowhere, and Tucker is about to dominate in whatever space.
The real disaster? The View thought they were untouchable, living in a media bubble of recycled Clinton era takes and fake moral high ground. They never saw Rogan and Kelly coming. These two don't chase awards or brunch approval. They brought facts, logic, and sarcasm, and The View crumbled. It was a fencing match versus a kazoo. Then came the meltdown. Their latest victim, RFK Jr., mocked without research, dismissed with synchronized eye rolls, and all delivered with zero substance.
That hot mess that they air in the mornings, called The View, had to issue not one, not two, not three, but 4 corrections, legal corrections. 4 legal notes. We only have 3 of them on camera, but look at this.
I have another legal note.
My God.
Both Trump and Pam Bondi have denied allegations of a quid pro quo. I have a legal note.
You want to take this one, Joy, or are you
Matt
good?
Gaetz has long denied all allegations and has not been charged with any crime.
That's true.
Also, another legal note, Pete Hegseth's lawyer said he paid the woman in 2023 to head off the threat of a baseless lawsuit. He has denied any wrongdoing.
Not to mention what they did at that debate, where once again, they tried to fact check only one side, and then when their fact checks got fact checked, they cowered. They cowered in fear. I mean, this is a pattern with them.
They even tossed free speech into the flames, declaring that expressing opposing opinions is now a crime if it doesn't match their studio-approved, brunch-certified worldview. According to these women, podcasters are destructive, misleading, and in some cases, threats to democracy. You know, because having a long, thoughtful conversation where someone finishes a sentence is too radical in today's fast-talking shriekfests. And then Joe Rogan gave them a thorough roast. No yelling, no table flipping, just that slow-burning, logic-laced, eyebrow-raising takedown he's known for. On his podcast, between segments about elk meat and ancient civilizations, he carved The View up like a Sunday brisket. Calm, harsh, and accurate. Rogan pointed out the obvious. They're not watching the material they criticize. They don't fact-check. They're not even interested. It's theatrical outrage sprayed with fake moral perfume. He compared it to someone drunkenly condemning a movie they never saw. Honestly, has there ever been a better summary of The View's editorial strategy? It's not about informing the audience. It's about vibing through whatever narrative earns the most applause.
Interesting, because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
You know, that's sort of, I think the other ones, there's a couple of the other ones, don't have to name any names, who are just very dull-minded. But I think Sunny's not one of them. I think she's smart but captured.
Sure,
And,
I think she came into it with an agenda.
of course.
You know.
They do everything with an agenda.
Joe Rogan didn't need cheap shots. He used The View's own words, contradictions, and missteps like a seasoned prosecutor. Calm and precise, he exposed their lazy headline skimming and Twitter-level takes with sarcasm and sharp facts. It wasn't rage, it was pity wrapped in logic. Then came Megyn Kelly with a verbal strike. Cool and cutting, she broke down their hypocrisy. With lawyer-grade precision, pointing out how offense only matters when it's not coming from them. While The View clutched pearls, Rogan and Kelly brought clarity, receipts, and a blowtorch.
Came out and said she's about as pro-choice as they come. And here was the reaction on The View.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't
don't
want to
care.
have anything
She
to
doesn't
do with
care
him.
about that.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Would you look? This is a network that still runs out fact checks to these women, like it's concerned about them staying factual. She hates Trump. She doesn't want to be near him. She doesn't want to be president again. She destroyed the Rose Garden, and she hates Christmas. That is what passes for news On a network, they did a presidential debate.
According to Megyn, it's not free speech until it's been pre-approved by a panel of daytime TV privilege. And speaking of privilege, she reserved her sharpest barbs for Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin. Megyn pulled no punches. Joy, the living eye roll emoji, and was ripped apart for playing high priestess of progressivism while spewing takes that would make a real feminist beg for earplugs. And Sunny? Oh, Megyn slashed through her smugness, calling out her elite lawyer turned daytime diva act. Megyn stormed their fake moral high ground like a truth-seeking missile through a hypocrisy factory. Female empowerment? More like choreographed drama wrapped in pastel jackets. She exposed how the show treats diverse opinions, especially from women, as betrayal. Disagree with the group? You're not just wrong. You're a threat to sisterhood. It's not a round table. It's an emotional hostage situation where the only safe answer is what Whoopi said 5 minutes ago. But it didn't stop at roasting personalities. It got surgical as the facts rolled in. Because, here's the kicker, while The View relies on emotional sound bites, Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly bring actual research. Shocking, right? Whole transcripts, background context, going beyond headlines. Witchcraft.
I have no hate for Joy Behar. If I saw her, I'd give her a hug. I'd probably say the same thing about me if I was her. You're worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is fucking great, and Joe Rogan believes in
People started comparing The View's claims to what actually happened, like when they said a podcast episode was dangerous, only for Megyn to produce. Footage proving it was literally a discussion about nutrition and cold plunges. Scandalous. Or when Joy claimed Rogan spread hate, but a 30-second fact check showed it was a combat vet discussing PTSD and meditation. The horror? Megyn didn't just call them out, she buried them in context. And Joe, ever the conversational monk, had already dismantled their worldview without breaking a sweat. The contrast was brutal. Rogan and Kelly, educated, researched, nuanced. Meanwhile, The View mocks long-form podcasts. Who has time for 3-hour conversations? They sneer, as if their audience prefers 10-second opinion spasms sandwiched between arthritis cream ads. Joe and Megyn weren't just responding, they were reflecting. And while The View hid behind applause signs and fake righteousness, these two held up mirrors. Painful, hilarious, merciless mirrors. And just when you thought The View couldn't sink any lower, they decided to teach a masterclass in deceit and call it truth.
Did you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said
on television.
You know, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
Yeah.
Remember when The View called certain COVID claims science only for that science to vanish months later? Or when they branded political candidates as threats based on Facebook memes and Whoopi's vague dinner memories? These weren't simple mistakes. They were bold, repeated misinformation. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly don't pretend to be infallible. Rogan welcomes opposing views, something The View avoids like a virus, and Megyn comes armed with full case files.
I don't know. Hey, this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest fucking statement. Like you didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to what the wildlife biologist, and that's only a part of it.
Not Instagram gossip. Yet when facts hit, The View cries censorship, despite having daily airtime and millions of viewers. Joy mumbles nonsense, Whoopi philosophizes like a sleepy fortune cookie, and America just watches, popcorn in hand, wondering if daytime TV has finally lost it. So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.